Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, I want to show you something really fun, and that's going to be a solo option for doing Dragon on stage 10 hard. Right, I've kind of been on a mission, I guess, recently, or researching and trying my best to see with end game stuff, right? Like, I'm not talking about mid game. This is the builds and all the stuff that I show for stage 10 hard are gonna be, mostly end game stuff, end game builds, ascended gear, fully booked stuff like that. Because you know what, it's pretty hard, it's pretty tough, especially because on stages 10 the bosses have 250 speed. So the reason I'm doing this today is because, as we can see, let me just show you the background on my main account, but what I'm going to show is on the test server, right? But what's happening today, or what should be happening today, is going to be the Dragon Tournament plus the Champion Training, and then there's also, the Dungeon Divers, which by the time this video is out, it should be live. So this is basically the perfect time for you to triple dip. That means just do solo comp with 4 food champions in order to get Dragon, Champion Training, and Dungeon Divers points, right? Getting points for 3 areas with just doing one single thing. And basically, I did do a video a few days back where I showed a solo for Ice Golem 10 hard. That one was not actually perfect. I still need to tweak it, still need to look at it, but I was using Artak. If you didn't check it out, go see it. He can solo stage 10 hard, it's just a bit tricky. And now this one over here, I think I found the right combination and the right champion. There might be some other ones, I'm not saying this is the only one, but one of the ones that makes it the easiest to actually solo Dragon 10 hard is going to be a previous fusion, actually, right? It's going to be Gnishak Verminlord, okay? The reason why he's so good for this one is because of his kit overall and what he brings in order to be able to solo the waves and then the boss part, right? And honestly, this one has a high chance of failing on the waves and not on the boss part. On the boss part, it's pretty easy. Even though I only have 1 star awaken, if I had higher levels, then obviously I will take less damage on the boss part. But why is he so good? Well, first of all, on the A1, he has an attack 3 times a random that can land bombs, right? Bombs can do some decent damage. Then on the A2, AoE attack that has a 100% chance of placing decreased attack, which is massive because on the waves you're facing attack-based champions, which means you should be able to survive better by having the decreased attack out. But also increases the detonation cooldown of all the bombs, right? And also increases the duration of all poison debuffs, right? So overall, just synergizes perfect with his kit. It activates the bombs, increases the duration of poisons. But then on the A3, he has an AoE attack that places 2 bombs on each target, then gets an extra turn, right? The cool thing, why this one's so important, especially to A3, this is kind of like the key of what makes him be able to do this, because otherwise, as you can see, he's an attack-based champion, right? He's not as tanky as you would have an Artak, a Theodore, a Drang, some other one of those champions. So his base HP and defense are not the highest. They're not the lowest either, but they're not as high. So the fact that he has an extra turn mechanic included in this A3, it kind of allows him to be able to self-sustain by getting that extra turn and healing up more in the build that I'm gonna show you. And then on the passive, this is the best part. Basically, every time a bomb debuff placed by him detonates or is removed, it places 2 poisons on them and they are protected, right? Which means they cannot be cleansed. So overall, that's perfect. Also gives him more attack in all battles, which is going to increase the damage to the bomb scale. But honestly, you don't really care about that much about the damage of the bombs themselves. It's more about those poisons and just the amount of bombs and poisons that you have out there. So as you're gonna see, he's gonna be going on his own. It can be a bit tricky. Like, let's see, like I already started with a bad RNG, maybe with an HP burn landing, but I think it should still be fine. So the quirky thing on this first wave and why this one can be scary and can be the one that can make it fail is because of the Leborga over here, right? She's the one that puts that increased attack and increased defense on them. So basically, if I get like 3 crits in a row, he's pretty much dead. Unfortunately, right? So that's like I guess there's a 15% chance to crit, but you need, I think it was like 3 critical hits in a row on the second part where it can get scary, and if that happens, then it's pretty much, it can fail. So this is still not 100%. However, If I had higher awakening, I think it would be easier because having that emergency heal us better would make it consistent. However, this one's pretty consistent. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I did like close to 80 runs and it only failed once, so I'm pretty happy with it. Like, you can see the second wave, there's no trouble whatsoever, even though we get 3% and they get some debuffs landing on us. It just, overall, the kit and the way that he deals with the waves is just amazing. And again, like I said, once we get to the boss part, you're gonna see that the boss part is actually so much easier than the wave that it's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny. It's like this one's just not the issue. Even though you go like 1-to-1 turns, it's still so much easier to deal with the boss because there's so many poisons out there that you see that the boss is just gonna drop, you know, pretty fast. It's the boss part is the easier one. The problem, like I mentioned, is just the waves, right? Because with the waves, there's so much attack that we get, especially on the first one. We get attacked so much, and with them having that increased attack, it also makes it a little bit scary, right? But the thing that makes this work as well as it is gonna be, as I'm gonna show you, the combination of the build, right? It's the combination between the gear sets, the artifacts, the awakening, even the masteries, right? It's pretty much, I try to look at it, I basically almost perfectly min-maxed it. Like, the only other thing I guess that I could try and do better if I could find the stats would be if I could put, instead of a perception set, because right now I'm running him in a regen plus perception, if I could find a way to get him with the right stats in a immortal set instead of that perception, right? Because that would give me some more healing. Let's see another crit. Okay, so it was still okay, but even with those crits, you're gonna see that I chose something that makes it be more sustainable and more reliable, even if we do get hit by critical hits. And that's, you know what, that's a mastery that I chose to use that I've been using more and more recently, especially when I was testing in the past some Ice Golem stuff. But it's kind of like, you know what, it might be just counterintuitive because we're used to mostly taking the mastery blast proof, right? The one that gives us 5% less damage taken from AoE. However, the mastery that makes you take less damage when you get critically hit, that's a lot better, especially for stuff like this, because it works on all critical hits, not just the AoEs, right? So that, and also that's the thing that can make it fail, right? Being critically hit. But I guess I'm gonna show you once I get to that, to the part of the masteries. Also, the thing that I really like is the fact that, you know what, considering it's a solo, and it's on stage 10 hard, it's doing it pretty fast. Like, it's somewhere around 2 minutes or under 2 minutes. I don't think that's a bad time. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I do believe that the 10-minute time is a pretty decent one, right? Considering, again, it's a solo, it's on stage 10 hard, it's, you know, the hardest content, I guess, when it comes to a dragon in the game. So being able to do it with just one champion and then getting 4 food champions alongside just makes it be, you know, totally worth it. And there we go, 2 minutes. I think the boss should die. There we go, 2 minutes and 1 second. The previous one was a little bit less. And also I like the fact that I don't need any team setup, any presets. He does have good AI, he uses the skills at the right time. Now let's have a look at the build, right? Let's have a look at the build that he has. So like I mentioned, he's running regeneration and perception. I would prefer, if I could hit the stats, to have regeneration plus immortal, just for that extra consistency, for that extra healing. And the stats that I have on him are 262 speed, 484 resist, 366 accuracy, 82k HP, 3.6k defense. So I guess that what you're looking at normally would be somewhere at around 250 speed, right? Somewhere around that. Then you want to have at least 450 resist. And then when it comes to the accuracy, you want around 345 accuracy. Because those are the stats that you need in order to land debuffs and to resist debuffs on stages 10 hard of the normal dungeons. And then everything else, after you go to 250 speed, as much HP and defense as you can get, because you want it to be survivable. You don't care about his attack, like I said, for the bombs damage, because most of the damage is happening from those poisons that get converted after the bombs explode. Now, another thing that's really important for this specific build is to have a blood shield accessory, right? For that reason, I'm using a blood shield ring. I wish I had a more powerful one, right? A 6-star to use instead, but this is what I use. You can see it's not the best. The rolls are kind of crappy on this one, but I needed this one because I'm using the blood shield accessory and I'm combining it with this blessing, right? With emergency heal. Every time the shield drops off, he gets healed by 3% of his max HP. And also I mentioned, if I had at least a 4-star on him, that would be so much better because I would get more defense, more HP, and also would get a bigger heal from that blood shield accessory, right? From that, from this blessing. So I only have 1 star. Again, this could be better. If he was 6-star, it would be, I would guarantee that this would be 100% successful, right? Because the heal would be so big that it's like, you know, it would just be a breeze. Plus we would get more speed, more accuracy, more resist. It would just be, you know, godly. But 1 star is what I have, and that's what I'm using. Now, when we're talking about masteries, I really want to emphasize on a few of these masteries that kind of seems like they're really important from what I've tested. First of all, Oppressor, this is going to help because you're going to get more turn meter, right? Because you have a ton of debuffs, which means you're going to go faster, which means you're going to be able to take more turns and heal yourself from that regeneration set. Now, other masteries, Arcane Celerity helps because every time a buff expires, you have a chance to get turn meter. Then Lord of Steel can help you, at least with the perception side of it. Then also Cycle of Magic can be good, but it's not mandatory. Spirit Haste is extremely important because every dead ally is going to give you speed. So because you're going to have four foot champions, when they die you get an extra 24 speed, which means again, you're going to go faster. Also, you want to try and get Master Hexer for a chance to extend the duration of those poisons. And then you want to go down defense tree. You don't want offense tree, you want to go down defense tree. And over here, there are a couple of really important ones, okay? Obviously, you're going to go with Defiant. I would 100% tell you go with this one because you want to grab this, right? I was talking during the run about the mastery that takes less damage from crits. Well, improved parries, that one. Decreases the damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion is hit with a critical hit. And because most of the times the critical hits are going to be the ones that are going to be an issue, even at the boss part, but mostly on the waves, this is going to help you so you take less damage. Then the other one, you want to take Rejuvenation, increases the amount of healing and value of shield he receives by 5%. Obviously, you're going to have the regen, so you're going to take more heal, plus the Awakening is going to give you more heal. Then next one, Resurgent. This one's really good for the boss part because when the boss keeps, you know, gets the purple bar when he breathes in and before he exhales, if he does do that stun, he does more and more damage. You have a chance to remove that stun and then, you know, just hit him back. Another really good mastery that could help, but I guess this one's not as mandatory as you only face this on the second wave. Shadow Heal helps on the second wave because there is that Cardinal that heals an ally and you get a heal whenever that happens. However, the second wave is a breeze as you saw, so I guess you could easy go to Swarm Smiter if you needed that extra accuracy, or maybe even Rapid Response, right? Because you get that Blood Shield ring and every time it falls off, you have a chance to get more turn meter. So maybe I would just swap this Shadow Heal, it's not mandatory. Now, Delay Death is another important one because it can keep, you know, it improves over time. As you get hits, you take less damage. That allows you to survive on the waves and on the boss part. And then the last one, I chose to go Retribution because, you know what? When you start getting hit, you saw on the first wave, let's say the first hit, you don't get hit as much, you lose that shield, but maybe you get the second or the third hit before somebody else attacks again. If you take more than 25% of your HP, you will counterattack. And what that means, when you counterattack, you're gonna get a blood shield again, right, landing on you, and then the next attack is gonna heal you up. So it's kind of like the perfect combination and trying to min-max and get the right, you know, the right RNG in your favor to make this one work. But I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm really excited about this solo because, like I said, I'm on a mission where I'm trying to get as many, I'm trying to get all of these dungeons. I think this was the last one actually that can be done easily solo, but I'm kind of like on a mission of getting solo comps, right? I did Artak for Ice Golem. Now Gnishak is going to be doing this, okay. Then I already have one for Spider, which most of you maybe already know. There's, you know, Eric's that can do that. And obviously for Fire Knight, it's impossible. Especially hard, it's just impossible. Like, I cannot see any way how you could do that. I even have solo videos on Shogun, right? Again, Sand Devil, I'm not sure if it can be done, but I might look into that. Maybe there's a way to do that as well. But I guess we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like this type of video. If you have some other ideas of things that you might want to see, maybe some other duos, I guess, of more relatable or like duo epics for stage 10 hard that you want me to make, or maybe duos that use Mithrala, right? Because most people can get her. Let me know in the comments down below, and I can play around with it and I can see what I can come up with. But For now, thank you all for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye guys.